Hey all, and welcome back to our post-game coverage of Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Throughout the main game, we dealt with the absent silhouettes. Now it's time to kick things up a gear, because here in the Garden of Assemblage, we will be tackling the replica data fights, often known as simply the data fights. These guys are basically the absent silhouettes on steroids.
And they also have the other organization members that we fought throughout the main story, like Xaldin here, and Demyx, and things like that. And they are also basically on steroids. The Axel fight that the symbol shows there is a pretty special one, because it's the version we first fight as Roxas, actually. And speaking of Roxas, that's actually the first one we're tackling.
Hey, nice. Now, I assume they don't add in any new moves and whatnot, or do I need to be corrected in this regard?
Some of them might, most of them just change the moves around, especially to be tougher or just slightly different or faster. Roxas here is going to be quite a bit faster than he was previously, but mostly handled kind of the same way with just combos and reflect like you saw back in the base game.
And as you can plainly see in the top right, oh god, they have a lot of health.
Yeah, the absent silhouette from Marluxia has a decent bit of health anyway. The data version has, I think, like a couple more bars, maybe. Or maybe the same amount, I'm not really sure. I never sat down and counted all the little blocks up there.
Really, you're just trying to take them out, you know, you don't want to preserve anything less than optimal in your brain.
Whether or not they have new moves, I don't think we saw that particular attack from Roxas where he summons Twilight Town in the background and throws balls at us or whatever.
A classic enemy maneuver, just throwing balls to confuse the protagonist.
Like I said, combos and reflect, pretty simple until he gets to... This is a new move, I'm pretty sure, where he spins around and throws his keyblades, almost like a strike raid kind of thing.
Isn't that where you can take them from him, though?
That will be coming up shortly when he gets to about 50% health.
Right.
Yeah, he'll do this, and as the fight goes on, that attack will get longer and longer, and pretty much no matter what is going to put you down at 1 HP, assuming that you have once more and second chance equipped, because if you don't have those, you're going to die.
Now, I noticed you said he summons Twilight Town in the background. I didn't see no fucking seesaw ice cream back there.
No, it's kind of just the sunset in the background more than anything, but summoning the entire town is a funnier picture. I'm mostly just kind of varying out my combos here as I'm playing to make sure I'm not just doing literally the same combo over and over, because that's not entertaining to watch.
You know, it is optimal, but actually no, it's not optimal, it's effective. I have to vary up my commentary to make sure I'm not saying the same thing we did during the fucking other fights.
Well, optimal is also a frame of reference for people who actually, you know, do these fights well, as opposed to me.
How did you get on with the Remind data fights, mate? The limit cut?
I think I tried one of them and quit, because I didn't like them very much.
Oh, they're pretty fucking hard from what I can recall.
Yeah, they don't have the same fun factor for me as these did, and it might be just because they're new stuff as opposed to things that I've been doing for a while. But anyway, that's Roxas done, taken out in pretty similar fashion to how he was in the main story, unfortunately.
Oh, if only I had a little crown, I would have bested him.
You know, he doesn't have a crown necklace. I know you're talking about the crown on Sora's head, but he actually has a cross, an X for his necklace, which has meaning in the series that I think we all know. But anyway, I'm actually going to be going in order down the numbers, so next we have number 12, Larxene.
This area, by the way, the Garden of Assemblage, is where you start the KH2 randomizer, and instead of, you know, going into these doors and fighting an organization member right away, they actually lead to the different worlds of the game.
It's actually incredibly, you know, complicated how they managed to do that, and impressive, I think, is the word I was actually looking for. But just the amount of work that goes into the randomizer is insane, and I think people have started decompiling Kingdom Hearts 1 to try to improve that randomizer, which is... I don't know how necessary that is, because the game's already on PC, but, you know... Larxene here, pretty much the same as the Absent Silhouette, just faster. You'll notice that when she has her copies out on the field, she actually takes damage twice, or however many times there are copies, so the more damage you can do when the copies are standing next to each other, the better. But also, merging her back together like this kind of resets her pattern so she doesn't do more annoying attacks that I don't want to deal with.
That's really interesting, like, the clones damaging the original. Usually they're just there to kind of create a buffer between the player and the enemy.
I think the implication is maybe that she's moving so fast she's actually in both places at once.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Or something like that. I have seen runs of this fight in the randomizer where you have an option to remove the damage cap so that Sora can actually just do ridiculous amounts of damage, where Larxene will take about 10 bars of health just from explosion hitting her and a clone.
Jesus Christ. Oh, that's right. You can get the Absent Silhouettes or the replica data fights in the randomizer, can't you?
You do the Absent Silhouette first, and then you can go back to the same place to do the data fight. But in the randomizer, you can set it so that you get the data reward from doing the Absent Silhouette, so that you don't have to fight both, which is usually what I do.
Yeah, or you can just say that the Lingering Will could appear anywhere at any time, and things become a lot more interesting then.
Yeah, having bosses replace normal enemies is certainly something fun that I want to try if I ever happen to get the PC version. Fuck Epic Game Store.
Indeed so. Alright, here we go. It's everyone's favourite member who was originally going to be a woman, but now he's not. It's Marluxia.
Or everyone's favorite member that was in Kai, because who else is there beside him and Larxene?
Bitch. Oh, he said the word. 99. That should give you some idea of how much harder he's hitting, though.
Well, he still has the same gimmick, where every hit takes away one from the counter. His pattern is obviously different because he's doing, you know, the pools sooner than before. He's going to do less of this move where you can regain your counter as well, so you got to watch out for that when you're doing this fight. The aerial strike reaction command, which you get by activating it closer to him rather than closer to the blade, actually does quite a lot more damage.
Okay.
You can actually loop Marluxia if you happen to hit him at just the right time as he's teleporting into the center of the area. The best way to do that is actually by using the fire spell, because it has continuous damage.
Ooh.
I had tried that a couple times during the Absent Silhouette, but I was never able to hit him. People might have noticed that way back then.
You know, something I just realised, were Donald and Goofy available during the Absent Silhouette fights?
Yes, they were, because I'm pretty sure... I don't think I used a drive for them, but I'm pretty sure they were at least there and just kind of died, much like they have done here.
Right, that's why I don't really have much memory of them during the main playthrough, because they were just dead.
Every one of these fights follows how it originally went, whether it was in, you know, from Rechain of Memories or from how it was in the main story, depending on what party members you have. So, for like, well, Lexaeus was fought with just Riku back in Chain of Memories, so that doesn't count. But things like, I'm trying to think of one. Axel is obviously going to be fought solo because he was only fought by Roxas. There were no other party members at the time.
Tee-hee, now I'm your stand, Sora.
I don't want this stand.
Oh, he's pulling a JoJo.
Honestly, the best way to deal with that is just spamming Reflect, and if you have a combo plus, you can get 4 Reflects off and not take damage from that last hit. But, as we're going to see, some funny stuff can happen if you do get that last hit on Sora.
Now, obviously, all the replica data fights have vastly boosted stats, but conversely, you can get the greatest amount of stat buffs from these fights, so it's kind of a trade-off, really.
Yeah, all of the data fights that are from the main game of KH2, like Roxas and Axel and the others will all give you stat boost items. All of the ones from Chain of Memories, like Marluxia here, will give you the illusion crafting materials, which I think is a pretty nice touch.
The Lost Illusions.
Just waiting for him to make himself vulnerable. He's kind of in a pattern of throwing limits around like they're candy or whatever.
He's being Sonic the Hedgehog right now. Let him have his fun.
And speaking of limits, yeah, he's going to do this one last time before he dies.
Tee-hee, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
And so the best part about this, as I do the exact same thing where I reflect 3 times and then get hit, one, he dies as Sora is taking damage, which is funny, but also, I took 13 hits during that fight.
Well, damn.
Didn't even try to do that, it just happened.
Okay, I'm done by.
Yeah, they kind of just go back in, you know.
They're fucking Data given a hard shell body, what do you expect?
Yeah, there are no hearts here, for sure. This is probably my least favorite of the Data fights, and you'd think that might be Demyx, but there's a particular part of this one that is actually so tough that I need to pause buffer for it, and I don't know anyone that can do it without pause buffering. Maybe some of the speedrun guys can get it, but even then they'll still pause buffer if they're doing it like on stream or whatever.
I get it, it's because of the menu choices you have to make, right?
Yeah, the minigames for sure. Otherwise, Luxord is kind of normal, which also leads to him not being one of my least favorites, because outside of the one minigame, he's not that interesting as a fight.
So you don't tend to favor enemies who are basically the same, but annoying in a certain respect as well.
Yeah, if it's just the same fight with one added gimmick, it's not really that fun. Like, as much as I don't like Demyx as a concept, his fight is at least pretty different as a Data fight to where he's a little bit more fun.
Ah, you caused me to go fish, Sora. I see you're very good at card games.
Yeah, that's about all the commentary we have for Luxord, because what else is there?
Oh, Mirror Force, etc.
Etc., etc.
Are you going to tap me, Sora?
Need more mana.
Looks like you've landed a hit.
I am excited to see what's going to happen with Luxord in whatever Quadratum or whatever's going on with Yozora is going to be, because of that secret ending. Who knows, really? It could be anything. I know Nomura is somewhat obsessed with putting Versus 13 into whatever he can, and can you blame him? They kind of took it from him, and he's trying to bring it back.
I love how people are like, oh, he should take KH in that direction, he should just let it go. Why?
He's the director. It's his choice to do what he wants to with it.
Right, it's not like it's someone usurping the Kingdom Hearts storyline, it's the fucking creator.
Yeah, for sure. I don't actually know what his role is, if he's the director or something else.
I just had that on the back burner. I didn't mean to get so petty. But besides, you know, him being from Quadratum, there's also the wild card he gave to Sora, which I would assume is going to allow Sora to actually leave Quadratum.
I would assume that's going to be the case too, and like I said, I'm very excited to see. Kingdom Hearts has gone in a direction that I wouldn't say I would have been excited for at the time KH2 came out, but now I think it's going to be solid from start to finish, which is exactly what the series needs.
Well, I don't think the Lost Masters are anywhere near as interesting as Master Xehanort and, you know, both versions of Organization 13, but I'm willing to give them a shot. It's not their fault that back cover is the most boring thing in the franchise.
Yeah, well, at least cheese is somewhat better, but anyway, yeah, so each one of these you get correct, they actually go faster, so I end up needing to pause buffer to get them, and basically if you pause on an X, by the time you unpause and press the button, it will be back on a circle so that you can select it, and then you just gotta hit him with some kind of finishing move to end the fight, like everything else in KH2. One of the only things I don't like about the combat is needing a finisher to actually end the fight.
Gin, Rummy, Poker, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Goodbye. Oh, thanks.
He even gives us, like, the least effective stat boosting thing.
You should see my face right now.
Alright, and I was just talking about Demyx, so now ready to do this one. I hope you like Wisdom Form.
It's pretty cool. I like the color combo.
Blue is a good color for Sora. He doesn't really get blue anywhere else.
Dance, water, dance.
But yeah, it's basically a similar idea from, you know, how he was originally, but there are a lot more clones to take out. They don't do the reaction command, the wild dance or whatever it is. I think you actually have to hit them with Blizzard to do that, but they also die instantly to fire, so why would you do that instead?
Indeed. Remember, be optimal. These are much harder fights.
They sure are, and because of the way elements work in this game, water and Blizzard are the same element, so Demyx is actually ridiculously weak to fire. I actually did not know that was the case for a long time, and a lot of people pointed that out during streams that I did years ago, and I did not believe them, because why would I believe something the game doesn't tell me? But yeah, no, it's definitely true. He takes a lot of damage from fire, as we'll see momentarily.
Maybe that's because, like, you're operating maybe subconsciously on Pokemon logic, where water is weak to electricity.
I just didn't think there was elemental resistances and weaknesses in the game, because nothing ever tells you about it. Like, that's obviously a thing in Chain of Memories, but I just kind of never knew it was something in this game, and yeah, like I said, sure enough it is. We'll see that come into effect with Vexen as well, because he gets shredded by Firaga.
Oh, even I have bested the absent silhouette of Vexen. Never got around to the data fights. They were just a wee bit too much for me. Like, every year my reaction speed gets worse and worse.
Dance, water, dance. Let's go.
So if you let Demyx kind of pause between his attacks too much, he'll summon more clones. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually using 2 regular fires without doing the combo finisher, because regular Firaga without doing the finisher does not increase their revenge value, which is a term that people may have heard from things, from randomizers and speedruns and stuff. Basically, it is an invisible value that the game has to determine when an enemy will react or take revenge on an attack of some case, and also when they activate their desperation move, which for Demyx would probably be the thing with the water walls and he's slashing and stuff like that. Or maybe it's just the clones, who knows? They probably have multiple desperation moves.
All of his moves are so chaotic, he could just be one big DM in general.
Now I'm picturing Demyx as the dungeon master for a tabletop role-playing game in the organization.
Of course he'd play a fucking bard.
Ironically, I think Demyx would be a very trolly dungeon master. Like, he's lazy in everything else, but in that one he would, like, try his hardest to screw everyone over.
Dude, you have no idea the chill that ran up my spine when I started putting 2 and 2 together and realized you were describing the Master of Masters.
Oh, I really wasn't even. I wasn't going there at all, but that's a good point.
Show's over. Good night.
I like that we fight him here in the castle gate of Hollow Bastion as well.
Fuck off with your AP boost. Jesus. Trollish is right. Alright, next fight.
Next up is Axel. We go from water to fire just that quickly.
Burn, baby.
Somehow, Ansem's computer, or whatever this is, can recreate a fight that happened after everyone stopped using this computer. Not gonna question it.
Maybe it was just working in the background. It is a computer, after all.
Maybe it's like the androids that stole all the DNA from the Z Fighters to make Cell, and it was just kind of always there in the background.
Well, that was a tiny bug that did that.
Something like that, yeah. I'd have to go back and look at the actual, you know, maybe manga or the anime or something like that. My mind is poisoned by DBZ Abridged when it comes to Dragon Ball Z nowadays.
Well, TLDR, it never recorded stuff on Namek, because obviously, how the hell would it get into space?
I think the one that made Cell did have that, because Cell was able to use some of Frieza's abilities. Cameras that Dr. Gero had following them for Android 17 and 18 did not go dynamic, and that's why he was surprised by Super Saiyan. But anyway, this is not Dragon Ball Z.
No, but I feel you have forgotten that Frieza was on Earth at one point.
You are correct. You'll notice here that instead of some of my regular combo finishers, I am using Blizzaga because magic is just kind of that good sometimes, and it's a different revenge value, although I couldn't tell you really how much different it is. Obviously, when the ground is on fire, Sora's constantly taking damage, but he won't ever drop below 1 health, so what a lot of people do is just leave the floor on fire rather than doing the reaction command, because it'll never kill you as long as Axel doesn't hit you.
Oh, right in the dick.
Guard Break is a finisher that I did not use for a very long time. I just never saw the point when the other option was Explosion. But then Finishing Plus is a thing, and it's like, well, if I can't use Explosion twice in a row, then I should also use Guard Break. And that's what happened.
Guard Break, more like Nard Break. Alright, next fight.
The next one on the list, Saix, of course. You'd think he would be one of the toughest, but actually if you get his pattern right, he's one of the easiest, much like in the main game where I kind of didn't let him breathe.
Well, anger is overpowering, but there's usually some sort of underlying focus to it.
Rather than hitting us, he actually just starts by charging his meter. I guess the Dragon Ball talk was getting to him too.
Yeah.
So if you just do one attack and then reflect and then keep hitting him again, you end up blocking his one attack and getting a whole bunch of damage. We're already 6 health bars in. 7.
God damn.
And I think now his bar is unfortunately full and he's going to get mad.
Do berserker.
And the easiest way to dodge these is just gliding around. I hope you have glide in the main story when you get here, because otherwise you're probably going to have a rough time.
When do you get super glide, by the way?
You don't really. Glide just levels up as you get more levels in final form. So it starts from basically the same speed as regular glide in KH1, and at max level it's basically super glide.
Righto.
I'd say it's a little bit easier to control than how super glide is in KH1 as well. It's got a much better turning radius. So he's going to get like 2 attacks in over the whole fight here.
Well, you know, that's just how angry you make him. He hates that little crowd.
I really like the split-second close-up of Sora's face as I turned into the wall.
Yep, that's me.
He's never actually out of his Berserk form in the data fight like he is in the normal fight. That was me trying to get Sora to do slide dash to actually dash towards him, but Sora just decided to hit the air instead.
I love how Goofy's always spinning. He's so cunty at these fights.
He do be spinning.
He do.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Ultimate Weapon. I think that's actually the first time we've seen it in the Let's Play.
Probably the best design of it.
I like all of the other ones. Well, from 1, 2, and 3 at the very least. I can't speak much on many of the other games, but 2's Ultimate Weapon is probably my favorite, even though it's the easiest to get out of the 3 if you count final mixes. Because Ultimate Weapon and KH1 final mix sucks to get. And 3 is just boring, as far as, you know, obtaining it.
I'm not going to fight you on that. Alright, it's Zexion time.
Yeah, and he does the same thing where he just kind of jumps into, you know, his special stuff. Rather than trying to attack us at the start, he's just dragging everyone into the books right away.
Ah, no. Take a look. It's in a book.
And we have to mash triangle because that's what KH2 combat is.
Yeah, basically.
The nice thing about that particular move is it gets us to deplete all of the book's HP instantly so that we can just get out right away. And I freed Donald, but I'm going to leave Goofy stuck in the book, and I don't know why.
It's okay, leave me behind.
It's okay, Donald can't read.
I don't know how to feel about that. It feels like a gross underestimate words of Donald's intelligence. I was going to say underestimation. What the fuck is going on today?
Jesus Christ. So this is similar to the command locking thing that the Unknown can do in KH1 Final Mix, where you have to pick a specific command to get the menu back. There's a few different ones like release and free and things like that that will get you out. Other ones will spawn HP orbs. I think some will do damage and things like that.
Right.
I could have chased him to get more damage in, but it looks like he's not quite in his final phase where he drags us back into the book instantly. He's still going through Donald and Goofy first before he actually gets to Sora. I don't know why I decided to go try to free Donald instead of just hitting Zexion right away.
It's okay. Just because the replica fights are taking all the best moments doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be repeating those best moments.
And so this part right here, the lights will flash 13 times before the barrier appears, so you just have to count for which one is going to be, you know, where the safe spot is.
God bless them, they're committed to the bit.
They sure are, which I think is pretty cool. It's fun to have cool things like that if you know about them, that you can anticipate or whatever.
I was just talking about them liking to use 13 over and over, but your thing is correct too, and smarter as well.
Yeah, I just like being able to know what the enemy's doing, I guess. I think I actually get the safe spot in the bottom right from where Sora is standing every time, which is neat.
Get out of there. You're always in your books.
I think you can get a little bit more damage if you do Finishing Leap to add on an air combo. Because he only takes one regular combo before he jumps out. You can get a bit more damage with jumping to the air as well. And he's kind of stuck in a loop of just doing these same moves over and over again.
3 in a row. Jesus, vary it up a bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have had it where I dash towards the correct thing and either don't make it into the barrier in time, or I think one time I might have gone past the barrier because Quick Run is stupid like that.
Can we make it 4?
Let's see. Going to the bottom right again, Zexion? We sure are. Alright, once he's out of here, he's pretty much done. He's got less than a health bar left, and Dick Stab.
Well, you know, we all gotta die somewhere.
It's stuck on the internet. It's there forever.
Alright, next fight. Oh, another angry man.
Yes, also one of the easier ones. Again, if you know how to guard, I guess is the main thing for this one. Because that's what stuns him.
Block, motherfucker.
Trying to do this without guard would be, I won't say impossible, but certainly extremely difficult.
Why would you do it without guard, is my question.
Challenge runs, I guess. I think this is the only absent silhouette in the main game that I was not able to do it at the point I actually showed it in the LP, because this is the first one you run into in Twilight Town, and I was just unable to finish it at that level. So I actually went ahead a few worlds and leveled up, and then came back and recorded it and spliced it into Twilight Town during the LP.
Oh, secrets.
Pretty sure I mentioned that in the YouTube comments, but I'm saying it here for those that don't read those.
Well, we all appreciate that. I was almost like, rah, the French there. Sorry, my brain is like half here, half elsewhere today.
It's kind of like that, yeah. The power level gimmick is weird. For this, he was stunned for like two hits of that combo. That's really fun. He just keeps getting stronger, and it'll actually max out at, 99,999. And whenever you do the reaction command, Sora goes up to, I think, 100 above whatever that power level is for the one reaction command, and then back down to normal.
Goku be like.
This is another fight, as you can probably imagine, that Reflect is kind of nuts. Explosion is also kind of nuts because it just kind of hits through his shield. He actually didn't even get the chance to max out his power level there.
Power levels are bullshit.
I am, of course, at level 99, as we saw during the Marluxia fight. You could probably finish these before getting there, especially on, like, beginner or standard difficulty. But, you know, considering I'm recording these, I want to do the best I can.
Alright, it's time for everyone's favourite chilly academic. It's Replica Data Vexen!
Yeah, I hate this fight. I hate every fight with Vexen. He's kind of an asshole.
Well, don't forget, he's secretly a good guy.
This is true. In this game, he is not, but in KH3, he is secretly a good guy.
So maybe he was a good guy all along.
He was absolutely not a good guy all along. The data bar that spawns the Data Sora or Anti-Sora or whatever fills up much quicker in this version. It's already almost up to level 3. It's almost really not worth trying to avoid it in this one. It's better to just let the Anti-Sora spawn and just take it out.
You gonna be going into final form at any point during this fight?
I'm pretty sure I am, and I think I handle it worse than I did in the main game when I probably tried to use Wisdom Form for fire. I don't even remember if I used a Dry Form or not. I think I'm conflating this fight with the other one, maybe.
Well, I mean, look at it. It's not like it takes place in a different arena or anything.
No, it's just a different time of the game. I think Anti-Sora's combo reset and restarted on me, so that actually did more damage. This combo that he does will always take you to 1 HP, as far as I know, unless Donald heals you in the middle of it.
God bless you, Donald. You know, we give him a lot of shit, but he comes through when we actually need him.
Depending on how you have his abilities set up, he can actually be a pretty effective healer, especially in the other games. Like, in KH1, he's great at magic because his cure does not take all of his MP away, and here's final form, and I hit him once and he goes into his desperation move.
Well, wouldn't you?
I was afraid that this is what happened, unfortunately. And I just have to wait this out, and it's kind of disappointing as we watch the final form counter just tick down slowly.
What, you don't want ice cubes in your drink? Just take them already.
That's a bit more ice than I'd really like. I mean, it's a regular sized cup. I don't think the ice is going to fit. Gotta take out the Anti-Sora before we focus on Vexen, because that little bugger will interrupt your combos something terrible.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Fortunately, Final Form is also good for shredding regular HP bars.
Oh.
Final Form is sort of the anti-Anti-Sora. It's the perfect melding of Sora's darkness and the Keyblade's power. Also Firaga.
That's how I got for the absent silhouette fight. Well, you win, I guess. You're the smart guy now.
Hey, at least he didn't get assassinated this time.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, he gets it bad in both versions of Chain of Memories. Like, in the GBA original, he kind of gets stabbed in the back. In the remake, in RE Chain of Memories, he gets immolated.
Yeah, and I love that word, immolated. It was running through my head as you were doing that whole sentence.
I have many sticks.
Where's the fun in this?
This fight is a lot faster. Xaldin, I would say, is a lot faster, especially when he does his jump attack, as we'll see.
Well, you know, his element is wind. It would be weird if an air-based character wasn't fast.
He also kind of permanently has the wind shield around him, so you have to guard attacks to get the jump command to be able to remove it. In the regular fight, he doesn't start using the wind shield until like his second phase. And of course, if you have something like a reaction boost ability here, watch how fast these go. These are much faster than the regular fights.
Jesus.
If you have reaction boost, obviously jump will do way more damage. Also, if you go into a dry form, it actually adds to your strength. Even though you're not using the dry form's attacks, your strength is used for the reaction command's damage, so it will do more damage there too.
Just kind of watching the pips tick down.
Now I did get, when I was recording the main part of the game, I did a test run of Beast Castle. I always do a test run of each world before I do the proper recording so that I know what to expect. In my test run, I got a perfect run of Xaldin where he did not hit me once. And I tried for an hour to get that to happen when I did the actual recording, and I couldn't, and I felt very sad.
This always happens with recording for Let's Plays and whatnot. Like, the first run you go for, everything is great, but then you, like, trip up right at the end, and you can never replicate, like, the first 90% of goodness for the rest of the thing. You'll get a slightly janky run, but, you know, you'll get done what you need, but you have to use that janky take, and it irks me.
Yeah, there were definitely times where I just recorded a whole world and then realized that I didn't like how the boss fight went, so I just redid the boss fight and spliced it in. There was quite a bit of that throughout KH2, and there wasn't quite as much in KH1 because I kind of just dealt with the jank better in that game, I guess.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to. Yeah, you kind of have to, is what I would say correctly.
I was actually talking about this in a stream chat for one of my favorite streamers who does KH1 speedruns, is KH1 is janky, but that's part of the charm of the game. There's something about KH1 that has never been replicated throughout the rest of the series that just has something special about it, and I think the jankiness is definitely part of that.
I think there's like two trains of thought there. Kingdom Hearts 1 being its own unique beast, and the franchise going in another direction, like tonally, gameplay-wise, that's still exciting to this day, are both ideas that can coexist.
Yeah, there's a childlike innocence for KH1 that, like I said, hasn't been replicated.
Alright, it's good boy time.
It sure is. Hi, Lushu.
Yeah, there he is, everyone's favourite lion bastard.
Lying, not lion. We're not. You can fight these as lion sword with mods, by the way.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't want to, but you sure can.
Now there's a challenge run I'd like to see.
I think my favorite conceptual challenge run is fighting the super bosses with the skateboard. It's not something I would ever want to do, but it's just interesting to think about.
There's some mods I've seen where it's like every boss at once. I don't even know if those are possible to beat.
I remember before the HD collections even came out, good job, Donald, I saw people modding the PS2 version to fight Sephiroth and I guess it was Saix at the same time in Disney Castle, in the garden in Disney Castle, which was ridiculous.
Okay. God, that arena is not meant for one-on-one fights.
It's not meant for any kind of boss fight. It's kind of hell to try to fight anything that isn't just mooks there. Also, yeah, he doesn't have to charge up his big sniper bullet here. He just fires it instantly and it goes way faster.
Yeah, we just kind of like turned up the meter here and, you know, he can go crazy.
Fortunately, just having it hit your shield with Reflect sort of neutralizes it. Rather than trying to time or even mash triangle for the reaction command, I think Reflect is just a better option there.
TLDR, use Reflect. It's got Smar's seal of approval.
And this is how you dodge this desperation move, I say, hoping that I don't get hit here.
Let's see, we'll pass Spar, let present Spar down.
Almost certainly. Yep, I got hit. But that's the basic concept. Jump over the first salvo and then run in a circle. Sometimes he pips you with the desperation move, and there's nothing you can do about it. You could cure to get through it, you could activate a limit to get through it. Invincibility frames are everywhere in this game.
I gotta say, you're very good at 99% of dodging and everything else, but when it comes to these little red lasers, you kind of struggle to reflect them.
Absolutely, because they're so fast. I could do a lot better if I spammed Reflect, but I don't have Ethers equipped or anything like that, so that would run out of MP very quickly. Yeah, he pipped me right there just again. It's hard to keep on the right line, I guess, to dodge all of the shots perfectly.
I mean, I guess you could reflect your way out of that.
Possibly, but you can't use reflect that many times in a row before it would try to do a combo finisher, and then you're just left sitting. Hi, Sora gets to be in this cutscene.
What?
You're just kind of left sitting there. I like Goofy throwing his shield up there as well.
POV, you're about to get donked.
I think Goofy's shield may have interrupted the reaction command because I guarded the shot, but then it didn't do the reaction command the first time he did it.
The power to control space is mine now, Lushu.
I think you have to reflect so many shots before he gets stunned, and that's a much bigger deal here than it is in, you know, the story fight, because you can kind of just wail on him however you want to in that one. In this one, you really need the stuns in order to get anything done here. Like this. When he does the vertical shots, if you guard at just the right time, you block all of them, and it stuns him real quickly.
So what do you think's happening internally in the computer whenever these guys get destroyed? Do they just, like, copy-paste and then buff the stats up a little bit?
Huh. It would be interesting if it did that, kind of like the super bosses in Xenoblade 3, where you can re-challenge them at a higher level. I think that would be something cool to look into in the future. But anyway, we're actually on to the last one, which is a multi-phase fight, because we actually fight both of the sort of one-on-one Xemnas fights here, both the skyscraper and the world of Zebra.
Cool.
This one does not actually start with the building reaction command like the story one. It's lightsaber time.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I liked how the fight started originally.
I remember seeing a randomizer that I think it was Ninten did, where it was a specific seed that someone had developed for him to be really annoying, and he got Lingering Will as the boss fight here, and he was at like level 10 or something like that, like really low level. And so what he was trying to do was do combo cycles over and over to keep him permanently stunned by knocking him against the wall just perfectly, so that when Lingering Will is hit up into the air a little and then lands, it resets his revenge value. And he was having so much trouble. He tried for an hour to get that to work, and I don't think he ever got it.
Well, an hour is nothing compared to some people's attempts on certain fights. Like, shit, just me playing vanilla Roxas on critical in the final mix was pretty long.
Yeah, I remember that during the Guiding Key. Man, those were fun marathons.
They sure were.
The rest of the fight plays out pretty much the same. He doesn't have anything really different here, other than he does do the building command here again. You're forced to take a little bit of damage before you can unseal that lock thing, whatever you want to call it, just because the damage is active before the command pops up, unfortunately. I always like doing the finish part of the command to end these fights. You'll notice back in the main playthrough, I did not do finish to start off with, because it doesn't make any sense to do finish at the start.
God, that was like the blade went through him.
I really like how in the fade out you can see he's doing a backflip as his reaction to getting hit by a finisher.
Yeah, he's kind of clipping through the world. Alright, last fight time.
Yep, and we get Riku for this one, and all of the equipment that he has back out in the real world is given to, I guess this is Data Riku. Sort of. I guess it's a data representation of Riku created by the computer.
Well, it would have to be, because it's not like Riku came with us.
I can't actually call him Data Riku because that's an actual thing in Recoded.
I know. They fucking punked us. They gave us coded ideology, code idioms, and then surprise, it's Replico.
I mean, that's kind of what they did in KH3 with the blocks. They made it seem like it's recoded, and then surprise, it's not.
That's what I was talking about!
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has, like, other often legit criticisms for KH3, mine are the stupidest.
I think that's a legitimate complaint as well, because I think it was stupid. It's part of the reason why San Francisco is one of my least favorite worlds in that game.
A real disappointment, honestly, because it had a lot of potential.
I was actually looking through some comments on Twitter the other day that San Francisco was some people's favorite worlds. And I can get that for the exploration, I guess, because it is pretty cool to just run around the city. The problem is that there's not really much there to do or really explore outside of the Lucky Emblems.
Yeah, also the story isn't that great. I feel like that's one of the only times I would have wanted a straight adaptation of the film, like, you know, gathering up all the members of the team and dealing with, you know, the different dimensional shit.
I appreciate the second Baymax coming back. I think that's really cool. They just didn't do anything interesting with the second Baymax as a villain concept.
Also, I think the cartoon already kind of covered that, but don't quote me on that.
Well, that I wouldn't know about.
Is that all you got? That's it. Yeah.
This is another case, by the way, where you can use Reflect to dodge the Riku segment, or really any kind of invincibility, like a limit or whatever, to make it so that Sora doesn't get grabbed and Riku doesn't have to save him. The problem is that Xemnas will keep trying to grab Sora over and over, so you've got to keep blocking it every time.
Ooh, I'm gonna touch you. I'm gonna touch you.
And now we're in the laser phase, which, again, plays out much like how it did in the base game. He's probably a little bit faster, maybe a little bit more aggressive, but otherwise it's kind of just guard, reflect, mostly kind of the same thing.
I was counting the milliseconds before the lasers shot off, and yeah, he's faster.
Oh yeah. Yeah, these definitely fire faster, because they'll sit there and, wait for a second before they fire when the clone pops up.
God, you want to mess me up in a video game? Add delay to an enemy's attacks.
Or remove the delay that it normally has.
Yeah, either or.
Don't think I've mentioned this. When he's doing this particular attack where he's running through the air, whenever he is using the lightsabers, Xemnas is actually there, and that's why he's taking damage from Reflect. Whenever he is using the nobody tendrils, the black and white tendrils, it is actually a clone, and he will not take damage from Reflect.
Interesting. Oh, alright, final phase.
Yeah, we're onto it. And it's just the same. There's no difference here. To be fair, if they tried to make this any harder, I think people would complain.
I would have liked him to just appear in the middle of this with an AK-47.
If there was something to interrupt it, like you had to react to something in the middle instead of just mashing the button, I think that could have been a cool change. Again, I don't know how people would feel about changing. This is honestly iconic for this game. It's an iconic segment. It's just not particularly interesting once you realize it's just mashing two buttons.
Yeah, I guess so. Also, thanks for ignoring my asinine comment, by the way.
It's what I do. And this particular sequence also plays out exactly the same. It is cool to see a cutscene-ish thing playing in 60 FPS during... This is still mid-combat, I guess.
That really hurt. Stop that. Owie.
This is what I was talking about in the comments about how I don't like Ultimate Weapon for this fight because of the difference in length with Way to Dawn. It just looks a bit awkward to me. Kingdom Key looks better because it's a similar length.
Booyah, baby.
As per usual, we have to hit him one more time, and the best way to do that is activating Riku's limit.
Fuck yeah, baby. And there we go. Those were all the replica data fights. You know, I was kind of dreading recording this because it was like a 50-minute part of just fights, but I think we got through just fine, and that is a testament to Spar's editing, so thank you very much, mate.
Yes, and there's a little bit more to take care of. We have our reward to pick up first.
Ooh, let's have a look.
The Proof of Non-Existence. And time for Silver Crown.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Alright, there's one more fight to go, and then this whole playthrough's done. So I'll see you next time.